Okay, so let's start. In today's lecture, we are going to understand listening skills. Before going into the part of different skills, we would understand what listening is, what are the different kinds of listening, and what are different problems in listening, and how we can overcome those problems with listening. In the second session, probably, we will be dealing with skills in listening, and then we would also study what are the different problems when it comes to listening, in particular English language, and then we will also try and find some solutions with those problems. So let's start. First of all, we need to understand what listening is. So many people think that listening is so natural that we don't need to define it, or some may also say that it is hearing. But as a student, we need to differentiate between listening and hearing. So let's understand what is the difference between listening and hearing. First, let's understand what is listening, or what is the meaning of listening. Listening is with the mind, whereas when you talk about hearing, you use your senses, your limbs, that is ears. Okay, so in this way, hearing and listening are different. When you pay your attention towards the words that you listen, all kinds of sound you listen, everything that goes in front of you in order to create understanding in your mind responds to all that you listen to, that is called as listening. Whereas in hearing, it is with senses and your mind is not necessarily in tune of whatever is being said or whatever is being presented in front of you. So in one way, listening is very mechanical, hearing is very mechanical, whereas listening is purposeful and which needs some kind of efforts. Sorry. Third thing is listening is conscious. We need to make conscious efforts to understand whatever is being said. We need to pay a little more attention. We need to relate everything that we hear and then get a meaning out of whatever we have heard so far. Whereas it can also be said that it is an active process of eliciting information. All information we gather, we need to understand all that information in one particular way, and we need to put that particular information in our mind so that we can recall that information. This is an active process. So listening in a way is a very active process of eliciting information. It also elicit, or rather I can say store, manages ideas, attitudes and emotion. It is also interpersonal and oral exchange that you pay attention to. Now, what are the different stages in the process of the listening? So first thing comes is hearing. As we have just learned that hearing is with your ears, it is mechanical and natural. So first thing, that your ears get some kind of sounds. Then what happens? In the second stage, our mind tries to focus on that particular message. So let us say, for example, you get the sound of the bell and you understand something out of the sound of the bell. So whatever you hear, your mind focuses on that particular sound and it extracts the message out of that sound. So this second procedure is very, very important. In larger message, there would be more than 1, 2, 3, 4 sounds, and there would be a series of focusing on different kind of messages. And then remember, the third thing appears very importantly, comprehending and interpreting that particular sound. Comprehension or comprehending means to understand, and to take meaning out of that is called as interpreting. So at the third stage, we take meaning out of that particular sound. In the fourth stage, we analyze and we evaluate. We do not react just to the sound, whereas our mind essentially processes that data, that message, and then thinks over it whether what kind of reaction should you give to that particular sound. Let us say, for example, if there is a lecture going on and the bell rings, there would be some students who would stand up and start leaving the classroom, whereas there would be some students who feel that there is something necessary that teacher is telling to you, and therefore what would they do? They would listen to that particular sound, comprehend and interpret that now it is a time up for the teacher, but because they analyze and evaluate that something important is being told by the teacher, therefore they would never stand up and leave the room, because they are analyzing and evaluating that particular sound. At the same time, they are determining their responding. Look at the next stage, which is responding. So this is a chain of a particular kind of behavior. We analyze, we evaluate that particular sound, and then on the basis of our analysis and evaluation, we respond to that particular sound. So whether to sit in the class and listen to your teacher, or whether to stand up and go out of the class, it would be decided by the analysis and evaluation of that particular sound that everyone of you has comprehended. And most importantly, in the last stage, it is remembering. Okay, you simply cannot forget everything that come across. You listen to the sounds, evaluate them, whatever is necessary for you, your mind feels that this is necessary, that can be remembered for a longer time. So let us say, for example, we listen to songs of some films. Not all songs, all lyrics are remembered by us. Some lyrics which are more appealing can be easily remembered, okay, because they are appealing. Our mind focuses little bit more on the words, and therefore we remember those words, those lyrics. So in this way, there are different stages in the listening process. If we think that we have some problems with listening, there would be problems with any of these stages. So we can now be able to highlight that particular problem that we come across. Hearing